Alright, let's try that again. So, like I say, if you're new to the game, make your way to the Crusader system, and what you're going to want to do is look for one of the 3 moons. That is Yela, Daymar, or Yela, Daymar, or Selen. As far as I can tell, they're all pretty good as far as mining in the MISC Prospector goes. Didn't work too well. Okay. Well, I guess we'll go to Delmar then. Sure, I think I wanted to go to Delmar anyways. Wait a minute, not Crew 5? Oh, come on, game. You usually don't need to set a hyperspace point, but for some reason, some weird stuff's going on here, and I guess this time we do. Alright, let's go to... we'll go to Yellow. Try that again. So yeah, as far as I can tell, any of these moons around the Crusader system are comparable. Come on, game. Are comparable when it comes to MISC Prospector mining. By the way, if you have issues, if you're just starting the game, calibrating your drive doesn't always seem to work every time. So just kind of like do what I did there. Back off, try again. It'll stick eventually. Oh, I was going to say, if you are going to do prospecting and you have 100,000 credits kicking around, you will need to equip the MISC Prospector, equip the Helix 1 mining laser. This mining laser is going to make a massive difference to which rocks you are able to actually successfully mine. So when you get to the planet, the easiest way to get down to the surface is to pick a point that you can jump to. Doesn't really matter which one, as long as it gets you to the surface. I'm not sure if there's a certain distribution of where you can find more minerals or less minerals, depending on where you kind of place yourself. I'm not too sure about that. It's possible. Or it might just be luck of the draw. Like, for example, putting yourself near a mining facility, maybe there's more minerals around those areas than there are around a divide shelter. I'm not really sure. But instead of flying straight down to the planet, which is what I used to actually do when I first started, took a little while, you can basically just get yourself to a nearby any of the points on the planet, hit your quantum drive, and arrive down. Watch your speed. Watch your speed on... Oh god, oh god. Okay, alright, that's fine. That's perfectly normal in terms of stopping. That's how you do it. That is like the fastest way to stop momentum. You can't stop in a faster way. So, pro tip, just saying. If you are in the MISC Prospector, you can switch your ATOL, or VTOL rather, mode for additional maneuverability. That is a key that you may or may not have set, but the VTOL mode, I'm not sure what the default key is because I remap all my keys. Anyway, once you're on the planet, you're going to switch to scan mode. You're probably going to want to keep your resolution at 1, and you're going to want to fly around at, you know, maybe a couple hundred meters a second type thing. And then what you're going to want to do is you're just going to want to hit your scanner. And when you find a potential rock, it will light up as well as its distance. Sometimes you'll see rocks which are not necessarily on your radar. Whoa. Yeah, I feel like I might have damaged something. No, you know what's going on? My VTOL mode is actually... Forget what I said about VTOL mode. If you're in a no gravity moon, probably you're better to be in, well, flight mode. So, you find a rock. Oh, and I don't have my drive coupled. That's why I'm having all sorts of weird stuff going on. Okay, let's try that again. You find a rock, you switch to scanning mode, and you hold down your left mouse click button, and it'll show you what the boulder is comprised of. The top element, in this case gold, will always be the most valuable one, so if you scan the top one and it's not what you're looking for, you don't need to wait around and scan the rest of the rock. It's pretty much not what you're looking for. So yeah, this is prospecting. This is flying from point to point. And yeah, forget what I said about VTOL mode. That was for atmospheric flight only. And this is, yeah, on a moon with no gravity or very low gravity. Ooh, Quantanium. Okay, so Quantanium is basically a, and then we have Agricium. So those are both two good potential minerals to mine. First thing I'm going to actually do is check out that Quantanium boulder. Quantanium is, what's the word? Unstable. Oops. Where's my scan mode? So you activate mining mode, and there's your scanner. So this boulder has 3.7% Quantanium, which is pretty good. However, it is the only boulder of Quantanium around that I see at the moment, which means that if I mine this, it's going to become unstable and explode in about 10 minutes, give or take. So if I mine that, I'm basically going to have to fly back and sell my load immediately, which means I'm going to have to account for flight time back to the station, flight time back to where I am, and ultimately the efficiency of just that one boulder is not going to be overly efficient, so I'm not going to worry about that one. Here we have Agricium at 2%, which is fairly low, but I'm going to mine it anyway, because if you get a good break of Agricium. And so the way to mine is to keep that power meter indicator right around in that green area on the bottom left where it says rock energy level. If it goes into the red, it could overcharge the boulder and then cause the boulder to kaboom. So this is the Agricium chunk by the looks of it. Oops. Definitely overdid that. Don't know my own laser strength. 0.7 Agricium is not really worth it. And I just killed that boulder. So, alright, there's what not to do. Let's try some more. But yeah, so to break a boulder, you're going to want to keep the boulder's energy level, rock's energy level, within the little green section, which can be easier to, or harder to do depending on the mining equipment that you're using, number one, and the boulder itself. So you could potentially get a very easy to break boulder, and sometimes boulders which are very unstable and have a very small window. So there we've got beryl. Beryl's not really worth picking up. You'll probably want to look up for a chart of which minerals are worth picking up and which ones are not, because if it's not worth picking up, well, the flight time to the station and back kind of defeats the profit margins of finding more valuable minerals. So yeah, when you find a rock, all you really need to do is fly up close to it. Sometimes it doesn't turn yellow right away. Sometimes you have to get really close, sometimes you have to wait a few seconds. I think it sort of depends on the servo. And then you just hold down the left button to scan, and here we have titanium, which is not really worth the effort. Yeah, mining in a mining period can be a bit of bit of a roll of the dice. Sometimes you'll find something immediately, which is worth a whole bunch, and you could possibly even make, you know, possibly 200,000 or 300,000 an hour type thing if you get lucky. And other times you'll get skunked. You could be searching around for 20 minutes, half an hour, and basically find nothing worth mining. And so ultimately, mining is a great way to start because you don't need to invest anything to get yourself up and running, other than having your ship, and of course a good mining laser helps. If you have the default MISC Prospector mining laser, you will find that most of the good boulders are too difficult for you to crack open. Anything with the more valuable minerals is going to be impossible to crack, almost impossible to crack. And so you'll have to mine titanium and diamonds and some of the mid-range stuff in order to afford yourself a Helix mining laser. And then once you've got that, you're good to go. You can basically mine anything. Okay, so aGRaseum is a good one. Let's check out the content there. 2% is not great, but I'm going to open it up anyway. As you can see under rock energy level, that little green section, that is the area that I want to keep the rock energy charge at. And I do that in a few different ways. By number one, by powering up and down the laser throttle. And number two, by getting closer or further away from the rock itself. And number three, and this might just be superstition, but I'm pretty sure that the spot that you shoot sometimes affects how the rock charges. So if you're close to breaking it but not quite, you can kind of niggle around for a slightly different spot that might put you over. So some of the ways you can control your throttle is, of course, just to throttle back and try to find the throttle area that you're looking for. Another thing you can do is take your mining laser off the rock and let it kind of cook, bring it back, see where it's at, let it cook some more. And of course you can turn off the mining laser entirely and turn it back on and re-throttle up. So playing around with those varying methods, you will find a technique that works best for you. Different techniques seem to work better for different rocks, depending on their characteristics. If it's got a nice wide range like these ones do, basically you can just throttle, oops, and then if it jumps up like that because of the instability, sometimes you might just want to turn the laser back off and then give it another little heat burst. Overcharging a little bit is okay because usually by the time it breaks, the overcharge will settle down a bit. But basically I'm just going to not touch it and let that overcharge come down a bit, and when it breaks, well, that one broke pretty reasonably. So that one's just some titanium and aGRaseum. I'm going to ignore that. When you've got a purple halo, that means you're ready to mine ready to extract, rather, the mineral. So what do we got here? By process of elimination, there should be one section which is aGRaseum, at least. Looks like there's 4 sections. There's the titanium and aluminum. Where is my aGRaseum chunk? Sometimes I like to overcharge the boulder a little bit so they break apart a little bit more than this one has broken apart, because right now I'm having trouble finding the section of this rock which is the aGRaseum section, but it should be here somewhere. Unless I broke the wrong part of the rock, maybe? I don't know. So what I'm going to actually do here is I'm actually going to break this boulder, and I'm going to break it with a little bit of intentional overcharge so that when it explodes, it kind of goes kaboom and propels itself and anything that it's touching. Whoops, better to overcharge here a little bit. There we go, just a little bit, and kaboom. There we go. Like a pinball or like a pool table. Knock a bunch of stuff out of the way. So now I'll hopefully be able to see what I wasn't able to see before, that might have been hidden behind some of the other stuff. Having trouble finding my aGRaseum bits here. Maybe that's it. A little bit, I betcha. There it is. 29% agresium. That is almost not worth picking up, because you get so much crap material in that. I'm not even going to pick that up. I mean, 29 is right on the sort of border of where picking up something is worth it or not, because if you've only got so much cargo in your hold, right? And then you have to return to the station and sell it off. And if you kind of pollute your cargo hold with less valuable minerals, then you're just going to spend a lot of time flying through space and ultimately having pretty small cell amounts. This won't really matter too much if you're just getting started, because anything's better than nothing, but if you're looking to sort of improve your yields and your returns, then you got to take into account that sort of 10-minute back and forth time to pick up additional. So this one is, this boulder was not a great boulder to mine, and it hasn't broken apart into good ways. It's broken apart into three small agresium chunks, which ultimately then broke apart into some more smaller chunks, and it just didn't break very well to create a dense cargo hold full of the most valuable minerals. I'm not even going to pick it up. I'm just going to keep looking for some better stuff here. There is, sort of in mining, there's the quantity game versus the quality game, and you can play the quantity game too if you want, right? More trips back to the station, more more guaranteed profits. Or you can play the quality game where you spend more time looking for those premium finds, and then make fewer trips back to the station. And I think I've already flown this way before. And that is a problem sometimes when you're mining. What I find is helpful is to pick a point, like the sun or something like that, and head towards that point so that you don't end up going around in circles and scanning the same stuff a lot. I didn't do that this time, obviously, but it is not a bad idea. How much scan charge do you need? Well, I usually do a full scan. I think you could probably get by with a lesser power scan, but for the most part I feel like the full scan is a better and more accurate detector, and it charges so fast on the MISC Prospector. You can get away with a full scan, no problem. Oh, there's something. So when you're flying in low gravity, watch that thrust. I like to fly around 200 or 300. If you start getting over that, you may find it becomes more and more difficult to stop your ship when you want to. As you noticed, I crashed into the moon on the way down. I have a video on flying using your afterburners as directional control mechanisms. It's like how to fly without crashing into things or something like that is, I think, what I called it. And if you're not sure how to use your afterburners to help you control your momentum in quick and sudden ways, also your space brakes, very important, you'll maybe want to check out that video. Basically just a newbie's tutorial on how to fly using absolute positioning. Yeah, right, there's some agresium. 2%, not a great amount, but you know what, I'm going to fracture this boulder, see if we get any big pieces that break off, and take it from there. This boulder's a little more resistant, I had to get pretty close. So now that I'm in the green, I'm going to start backing off my power by backing up my ship a bit. You can also scroll down your laser energy level, whatever you prefer. And we're almost in the red here, so that should do. I might have wanted to overcharge a bit in retrospect, because now everything's so close together. It's kind of hard to make out the individual pieces. And yeah, if you just do a little bit of overcharge, you'll get it to kind of go like a pool ball table and kind of knock the pieces into more scannable parts. So we've got one piece there that's got 15%. So that, I mean, that has a chance of breaking into a nice, 50 or 100% agresium piece. So I'm gonna open that up and see what happens. Should break pretty quickly. These smaller pieces, of course, break easier. The smaller the rock, the easier it is to break, generally speaking. So we got one piece there with inert materials. That just means it's got nothing. And yeah, I should have overcharged that a bit because now I'm having a really hard time scanning the individual pieces. If it takes a long time to scan and you're not getting anything, that's generally because it's inert materials. As you'll see, this will probably pop up as inert materials when we get to the end, because the game likes to put the best stuff at the top. And maybe this piece here is our good stuff. Oh, inert materials. Excuse me while I screenshot for this video. Just nice sunset there. So not that piece, yeah, I'm kind of getting skunked here at actually finding the pieces that are any good. Oh, there's 20% agresium. Again, not a very good break. I should probably just forget this boulder and move on, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. Got something over here. I might have already checked this out again, which is why I say pick a point. So I'm going to start heading towards the sun for as long as it lasts. That will be my point. But yeah, when I do prospecting, I kind of like to go for the bigger finds. I like to fill up my hold with the good stuff. But you could definitely do the quantity game, grabbing more of the lower percentage stuff and doing more trips back to the station. Yeah, in my experience, mining can do anywhere from 50 to 150,000 an hour, kind of on average. 50 to 100 is a pretty safe range. With some better runs, kind of doing around 150 an hour, but you actually have potential to get way up there too if you get lucky. Like 200,000-300,000 type thing, from even a fairly short amount of time. It really just depends on how successful the prospecting phase of your mining operation is. And then, this is good when this happens. So sometimes you will find a whole bunch of boulders all beside each other, and those can be your little jackpots. Sometimes you can get a whole bunch all together in a similar place. And yeah, that solves your prospecting if you get a few good ones. But yeah, again, if you don't see the scan line pop up right away, basically just give it a moment. The server's probably desynced or something. It should pop up. There we go. Now you see. Titanium. That's not what we're looking for. We're going to be mining in the dark here pretty soon. Not my favorite. More titanium. More titanium. This looks kind of like a titanium field. Titanium, titanium, titanium. Oh, got some agresium. Alright, what we got here? 4% agresium. Okay, well that could be something. I'm gonna open up that one. actually never seen an instability that high, 1.81. Or am I confusing instability with resistance? I can't remember now. But that really jumped up there. And that's what the instability meter means, is that sometimes it will just randomly jump as you're in the green area. And so you gotta be mindful for that potentially happening. And be ready to shut down and back up. 22% agrocem, okay, 22. This one's already mineable at 14%. Or sorry, extractable. Oops, that's not what I want to do. I'm going to fracture this one. I think I'm gonna overcharge this one a bit, just a little bit. Just a little bit, I meant. That's more than I wanted. Oh, kaboom. Well, that knocks things out of the way, makes them a little easier to see. Well, if I can keep track of them, that is. Inert materials, alright. Titanium. Probably none of this is agrocem. Probably the agrocem piece already broke off. So, yep. I'm not going to spend too much time there. Titanium, and there's another big rock that we haven't looked at yet, and that is gold. That would be inert materials. I can tell because how long it takes to scan. There's a little piece with only a bit of agrocem. 3% agrocem. Oh, okay. Boy, these are just not breaking very well. Titanium, alright. 5% agrocem on an 8,000 kilogram boulder. That is potentially quite a bit of agrocem in there. So I'm definitely going to open that up. If I can. It's a big rock, this one. Very big. So 5% of 8,000 is about 400, I guess it's kilograms worth of agrocem potentially in here, and if it breaks good, well, that could be a pretty good, decent little chunk of change. Boy, that was a big rock. So we have aluminum. We have a big piece of aluminum again. We have another piece of aluminum. More aluminum. There's 30% agrocem there. So 30% of, that's probably all of it actually. So initially we calculated around 400 agrocem, so 30% of 12 is about 400. Yeah, so that's probably all the agrocem here in this little section. So that's good. It all went into one section. That's good so far. We'll see how it breaks. Ooh, 100% aGuecium. Now that is what we're looking for. That's the good stuff right there. And 24% aluminum. Should be another couple hundred of aGuecium, give or take. Aluminum. And 64, okay, I'll take 64, that's fine. Is there another piece, I wonder? I think there might be, but where the heck is it? So we got about 200, maybe 300. We got about 300 kilograms or whatever the measurement is. We got 300 something of aGuecium, give or take. That's probably the majority of it. And that's also why it kind of helps to do calculations. Taking a look at the rock size and calculating how much you're likely to get and kind of keeping track of how much you've gotten so you know if you got all the pieces or not. Okay, well, I don't know if that was all the boulders. Might have been some more boulders. Not sure now, kind of lost track. Let me scan that one. Titanium. Titanium, and those are all the pieces I think I broke. Titanium, gold, titanium, and those are the pieces I broke. Okay. I'm going to call that pretty good. These little arrows that I'm seeing, I'm pretty sure those are rocks. However, that wasn't in the previous patch, which was when I was kind of more into the mining. So I think these are rocks. I'm going to go and check them out. Maybe the rocks I've already scanned, maybe they're new rocks. I'm not entirely sure. I'm going to go and solve this little mystery here, though. If these are rocks I've already scanned, it would definitely help me to track my pattern, track my movement pattern. Doesn't seem like I scanned this one, so maybe they're new rocks. Titanium. Or maybe I just didn't scan long enough to save what it is. I'm not sure. Not exactly sure. I sort of feel like they might potentially be new rocks. Got a whole bunch of something here. Maybe this was a rock I already broke. Yeah, okay, so that was a rock I already broke. So I think I might be looking at what I've already looked at. Not entirely sure, though. Like I say, when you're kind of flying around in a Prospector, it's pretty easy to go back and forth and just follow the little blips on your radar and then realize you're going in circles. So if you can pick a point, maybe that little asteroid right up there, that'll be my point, and kind of travel in a general direction, you're less likely to go back and forth and waste time checking out rocks you've already checked out. This looks alright. Got a couple of rocks here. Ooh, Quantanium. Oh, another Quantanium. You can tell Quantanium by the look of it. It's got those sort of orange streaks through it. So if this is any decent amount of Quantanium, I might go for it. 1% is a no. Ooh, 15% is a yes. Interesting. So there would be 15% of 46. What is that? What would that even be? 15% of 10,000 would be 1,500, so 15% of 5,000 would be quite, I'm not sure. I think there's quite a bit here, so I'm going to go for this. So, yeah, 1,000, shit, yeah, no, there's actually going to be a lot of quantanium in this. Like, I think 400 or 500 kilograms, or again, whatever measurement unit is being used. Got to be careful with quantanium, though. As you can see, the green area is quite a bit smaller here, and the instability is a 6, which is not great. Makes things definitely harder to mine. Phew. When in a game mining is kind of fun and exciting, you know they've done something right, you know? You know the developers have done something right. Alright, so when breaking apart quantanium, and that's a 34% boulder there. When breaking it apart, there's another 34% boulder. That's very good. You're going to want to break apart all the pieces before you start gathering it up. That is because you're not going to have a whole lot of time to gather it once you've broken it all apart. It's 36, wow. Those are all pretty good. And then this one over here, that's 7. Okay, so I'm just kind of identifying all the quantanium pieces here, and then I will continue to break apart the other bigger rocks. Those are some very decent sizes of quantanium. think this is our last piece. Okay, that's it. Time to pick some of this stuff up and hightail it back to the station. As I look at my cargo fill up here, I'm starting to realize that I may not be able to... Oh, there's 100%. Ooh, may not be able to hold all the Quantanium. So I better get the high pieces first. Quartz, aluminum, quartz, aluminum. Alright, pretty good.
Scan initiated. Warning, storage full.
Let's get out of here. So you'll note I hit cruise control and start heading into the atmosphere before I plot my course. That way, by the time I come back, theoretically, I should be in space. That being said, I don't seem to be. Or maybe it's just buggy at the moment, I'm not really sure. For some reason it's not letting me set a route. So I'm just going to quickly jump to Selin. That should clear my navigational glitch, hopefully, and then I'll recalculate from there. Oh, that's good, because we do not have a lot of time. get back and offload this cargo. I can't remember exactly what it was, but it's somewhere between 8 and 12 minutes, I believe.
Quantum travel engaged.
You will start to get alert warning indicators when you're starting to run out of time. I think the first alert warning indicator is something like you have 2 or 4 minutes left, and then you have less time, and then you have less time. I can't remember. You have to check the exact indicators.
Please proceed to assigned landing bay.
Landing gear down.
Oh, come on.
This is your last warning. There's nowhere to run.
Landing successful.
Alright, good enough.
Landing complete. Have a pleasant stay.
Yep, I just ignored the space cops in this case. Hopefully they don't try to pew-pew me. Alright, so we're about to see how we did with basically a full load of quantanium at some pretty high percentages too. So what you're looking for, if this is your first tutorial on mining, is just the refinery terminal, which are just behind the admin station here. And so what we ended up with was 122,000 worth in United Earth credits, aEC, yeah. So 34% agricium was worth 29,000, and the 32% of our hull full of quantanium was worth another 92,000. So as you can see, that last little bit of effort, that, you know, whatever that took, the 5 or 10 minutes that it took, was worth 92,000. So if you're prospecting and you are lucky, you could make a lot of money prospecting. Of course, you noticed that we had to search around quite a while to find that, and we weren't even guaranteed to find such a good little boulder, so you can also get skunked kind of easily too. So anyway, I think I'm going to call that a video. Hope you have found this helpful. If you're new to mining, if you're not, then you probably know all this stuff, but yeah, we'll see how long that all took and calculate how many credits we could earn per hour there. And yep, I'll probably do some more videos like this with the rock miner and stuff like that. Hope you guys liked this video. If you did, consider dropping a like. It helps this channel to grow. Who knows, one day I might even have 15 subscribers. I got like 10 right now, and I appreciate you guys who have subscribed. Alright.